Throughout centuries, the sociocultural of human beings have evolved. Families shared basic lifestyle and stereotypes in our society. But there are some whose values and beliefs may raise eyebrows. And there are some you may find disturbing. Let's see which family are on the list. But first, if this is your first time around here, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our videos. We'll make it worth your while. With that out of the way, let's begin. Number 10. America's most hated family. The Westboro Baptist Church, founded by its leader Fred Waldron Phelps Sr. A Baptist church known for its homophobic remarks against LGBT people, American soldiers, their hate for other religions. They hate almost everything. They are well known to picket gay and soldier funerals and even celebrities. They would barge into any public events. The church consists primarily of Phelps' extended family. The church defines itself as primitive Baptist, and they hate Catholics and Islam as they believe these churches worships the devil and preaching lies. The WBC also believes that God hates India and that the only true Jews are Christians, blaming the Jews of killing Christ. The Phelps family first came to public view after the members consisting of the Phelps extended family picketed the funeral of a student who was killed because he was gay. They were the subject of 7 TV networks where most of it were documentary. Pastor Phelps has strong hold of his beliefs, but there is one person that contradicts him, his greatest critic, his son, Nate Phelps, one of the few Phelps escapee, who after escaping the church's premises with an old car, away from his father's abuse, came to light and became a vocal campaigner against his father and the church. At 84, Fred Phelps Sr. died in 2014. That sparked mixed opinions and questions across the country, but family members stated that they serve no man, only Jesus Christ. The Phelps family did not hold a funeral for their strong founder. Number 9. The Young Bride. This marriage ritual dates back to 619, when Prophet Muhammad married Aisha at the tender age of 6. Anne Mowbray, 8th Countess of Norfolk, who was 5 years old when she married Richard of Shrewsbury, 4 years old. Child marriage is a complex issue and believed to connect it to religious and political reasons. Now, unbeknownst to everyone, these marriage rituals are still happening. Due to lack of education and poverty, many parents force their children into marriage. Just like the case of this young bride, meet Fatima Manger. She's the youngest bride in history. She was 4 years old when she was married off to a 10-year-old boy from Pradesh, but she lived with her family until the age of 8. By the time the husband came to collect Fatima, her father refused to give her away. His father then realized that she's too young to live a married life. His family then blamed the social pressure for making him make such a decision of allowing his daughter to get married at a young age. The marriage was annulled after 4 years, making her the world's youngest divorcee. Number 8. Graveyard Inn. The Benders, a dysfunctional German-speaking family of Kansas, is considered as America's first serial killers. John Bender, Sr. and his family first claimed 160 acres of land, followed by his son, who took a small part and combined it with that of Pa, John's nickname. They built one-room house with a curtain dividing their home into 2 separate areas. One portion of the house were converted into a store and public inn where travelers could have a new supply of goods and a place to spend a night. Travelers and fortune seekers passed through Kansas but were never heard of again. It took a couple of years until they noticed the travelers' disappearances and several body remains found in the area. It took a sudden turn when 2 brothers came looking for their missing brother, Dr. York. The brothers led an investigation and decided to have a search in every house, but because of the bad weather, it took several days before they continued their search. Unfortunately, by the time they came to search at the Benders' house, it was emptied. While searching for the evidence, they stumbled upon a trapdoor that led to a bloody cellar. They dug up the ground but no bodies were found, but then one of the neighbors recalled that the garden always seemed to be plowed. That's when they started to dig up and bodies were found, throats cut out, skulls cracked, all murdered except for the infant that was buried underneath his deceased father. There are several stories as to what exactly happened to the Benders, but one thing is certain, they were never caught. Number 7. Daddy Knows Best. For ladies, Plastic surgery is not uncommon anymore, and even young girls wanna be like their celebrity icons, even if they've already seen that their before and after look were noticeable. Young girls are now desperate to have rhinoplasty, Brazilian butt lifts, and of course, the breast enhancement. Most of the young girls still needs their parents' permission, but not Charm and Brittany. They had their first surgery by the age of 10 and 18, thanks to their dad Dr. Michael Nicole. Dr. Michael and his wife, Penny, adopted both Charm and Brittany when they were just babies, and by the tender age of 10, Charm had her first minor surgery. She had her belly button reshaped, and it didn't stop from there. Brittany first had her breast augmented as a gift for her 18th birthday, followed by a rhinoplasty, and the list goes on. These girls are now a walking advertisement for their dad, even encouraging their friends to get surgery from their dad, saying he's the best at what he does. Number 6. Inseparable. Have you ever wondered where the phrase Siamese twins came from? It's derived from the word Siam, the former name of Thailand. It all started with a conjoined twins named Chang and Eng Bunker. The conjoined twins lived a simple life until a British merchant entered their lives and went on a world tour with the infamous P.T. Barnum's circus. After their world tour, they became successful and decided to settle down, and so they did. They bought a huge plantation in North Carolina and eventually got married and had 21 children in total. Each wife having their own home, as the wives can't stand each other. The twins decided to spend 3 days each on their respective homes, quite an arrangement. In the last years of their lives, due to declining health and aging bodies, the two desired their own death and became obsessed with the idea of them dying separately. Unfortunately, the procedure would likely kill them both. Time came, their health deteriorated. They both died within 3 hours interval. The memorial of the original Siamese twins can be found in the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia. Number 5. Isolation. It all happened when the Ashley family found a tiny cabin in the middle of unpassable central Alaskan vastness. After 18 years, they're still living there together with their son and their pet dog. They are so isolated that for the past 18 years, they only had 5 visitors. It's a 250-mile stretch that no man could hardly pay a visit, though the family visits their relatives 1 month every year. Once they ran out of their 2-year supply of food, which they store in their man-made fridge, which is a 6-feet pit, dug up in a permafrost soil, the couple would go 200 miles by the Nowitnut River using a motorboat or snowmobile just to reach the nearest village. The Ashleys keep their own time. Besides, they reset their clock, making it 3 hours ahead or depending on the natural light around their home. Though they're happy in their own world and David Ashley says he's the king of this kingdom, they developed an attitude of self-centeredness and anger towards mankind. Mr. Ashley cut ties with his friends and insisted that they don't need to join the outside world and that they're complete as they have each other. Their son, Sky, is happy to be tending his parents once they are old and weak. The Ashley family is just one of the families that gave up on mankind and isolated themselves to the world. Number 4. The more the merrier. In the mountains of Mizoram state of India, sharing the borders with Bangladesh and Myanmar, lives the world's largest family. Their patriarch Zion Channa, 73, is the leader of Channa Paul. He's living with 39 wives, 94 children, 14 daughter-in-laws, and 33 grandchildren and counting. Zion practices polygamy and claims that its origin is traced back to the Bible's Revelation chapter 20. They have a 100-room, 4-storied house called Chwenthar Run or New Generation Home, a concrete structure enough to accommodate the whole family. All the family members takes turn in all the chores. The men takes care of the livestock, women do the cleaning, and the rest goes to the wives, taking turn in keeping the household and attending to Zion's needs, headed by his first wife Zathiang, saying, "I'm the eldest and have been married to Zion the longest. Everyone in the family respects me." Zion said that he considers himself a lucky man to be the husband of 39 women and head of the world's largest family. Tourists may visit there as they are considered a major tourist attraction. There is also a guest house called Kobuk to accommodate visitors coming to the village. Number 3. We are family. Incest. a sexual activity between family members that dates way back to ancient times, which is prohibited by the Hebrew Bible and can be found in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. It has long remained a taboo and was common to Egyptian pharaohs. Take King Tutankhamun, for one. Enough with that ancient shenanigans. Let's hear from the current event that happened just 3 years ago. The Colt family of New South Wales. The scandal first came out that shocked Australia and the rest of the world when one of the Colt children who attended school told his friends that their sister is pregnant and they don't know which of their brother is the father. That's when the authorities came to investigate the case and found out that in a quiet rural camp, housed 40 adults and children living an incestuous life that had interbred for 4 generations. In September of 2014, Betty Colt, the current family matriarch, became the first to be convicted after trying to kidnap his 15-year-old son who was in a foster care at that time. Some of the children developed facial deformities, which is a result of continuous family interbreeding. The Children's Court of New South Wales took a further step by permanently removing the children from their family. Number 2. Secret basement. In 2008, in Amstetten, Austria, a man named Joseph Fritzl was arrested after he tricked her daughter Elizabeth to the basement. He held her captive, raped, and physically abused her for 24 years. It resulted to him having 7 incest children. One died after 3 days after being born, with his daughter. 3 of the kids were adopted by Joseph and his wife, saying he found them outside his house. The basement was soundproof enough, so much so that even social workers never heard any sound to raise any suspicions, even though they visited regularly. A tenant renting the ground floor area heard some noises but were told that it was just the gas heating system. Rosemary, his wife, was unaware of having a huge basement with wash basin, toilet, bed and other furniture, as she wasn't aware that Joseph illegally extended the basement regardless the specified dimension written in the building permit when he renovated the house. It was said that Joseph was planning to release Elizabeth after 24 years after one of Elizabeth's children had a kidney failure and was needed to be rushed to the hospital. Joseph forced Elizabeth to write a letter stating that she wanted to come out, but it's not possible yet. The police believed that he plans to make it seem like he rescued Elizabeth and her children from some cult, but he got busted. Number 1. The Hillbillies. This dates back to 15th century. Everyone may agree that this is scarier than the movies you have seen. In fact, the bloodthirsty clan was the inspiration for plenty of suspense, thriller novels and movies such as The Hills Have Eyes and the famous character of the serial killer, Hannibal Lecter. We're talking about the Ben clan headed by their patriarch Alexander Sawney Bean. Sawney, together with his female companion who later became his wife, traveled across Scotland and found shelter in a coastal Cavenshire. Cannibalism began when Sawney resorted to murdering his victims after he robbed them and realized he needs to dispose their bodies in order to help make sure that he will never get caught. He would butcher the bodies, cook and then feast on them. After 2 decades, the Ben clan produced new family members through incest, and consuming high-protein diet of human meat, they increased in size, and so is their hunger for human flesh, all 40 of them. Their cannibalism ended when the King James I, together with his group of 400 men, tracker dogs, and local volunteers made the biggest manhunt after the Ben clan attacked and disemboweled a woman but failed to kill her husband. All 40 of the entire Sawney Ben clan were sentenced to death and met a fate similar to their victims. So which case shocked you the most? Comment down below and share us your thoughts. If you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.